Sophie, Countess of Wessex, is a senior working royal known to have a close relationship with her mother-in-law, the Queen. When the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, died at the age of 99 earlier this year, Prince Edward and Sophie are thought to have been a great support to the monarch. Sophie spoke earlier this year of her close relationship with both the Queen and the late Duke. "I think, unfortunately, the pandemic has slightly skewed things in as much as it's hard to spend as much time with the Queen than we would like to. We've been trying to, but of course it's still not that easy." The Wessex family were very close to the Duke in recent decades, with Prince Edward taking on a big role within his father's flagship patronage. Prince Edward is currently a trustee of the Duke of Edinburgh's award scheme and has been for many years. And for a long time, it has been widely reported that Edward will take on his father's Duke of Edinburgh title in the future. Prince Edward and Sophie Rhys Jones married in 1999, subsequently becoming the Earl and Countess of Wessex. But it is thought that Prince Philip wished for Edward to take on the Dukedom of Edinburgh in the future. At the moment the title belongs to Prince Charles because titles pass to the holder's firstborn son upon their death. But when Charles is king, the Duke of Edinburgh title will become vacant again and free for the monarch to distribute. He replied, "It was fine in theory, ages ago when it was sort of a pipe dream of my father TMS. And of course it will depend on whether or not the Prince of Wales, when he becomes king, whether he TMLL do that, so we TMLL wait and see." Edward added, "So yes, it will be quite a challenge taking that on. If Prince Charles does give Edward the Duke of Edinburgh title, there will also be a significant title change for his wife. Sophie will likely become the Duchess of Edinburgh, reflecting her husband's new royal title. James, 34, and his French fiancée copyright E, 31, finally tied the knot after twice having to postpone their wedding due to the coronavirus pandemic. The wedding took place in the village of Worms-les-Mimosas, where AZ's father lives and runs a rustic inn. Guests included the Cambridges and their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Among those witnessing the happy couple taking their vows were Kate's parents, Carol and Mike Middleton, alongside her sister Pippa, and brother-in-law James Matthews and their 2 young children, Arthur and Grace. James posted the glad tidings of his marriage to his Instagram page. He wrote, "Yesterday I married the love of my life surrounded by family, friends and of course a few dogs in the beautiful village of Worms-les-Mimosas. Words cannot describe how happy I am." Royal fans were quick to leave their messages of support for the newlyweds. One wrote, "Congratulations. Alizé looks so beautiful." While a second commented, "Many congrats lovebirds." James met Alizé, a financial analyst, through his 13-year-old spaniel Ella. Matchmaker Ella had made a beeline for Ollie's copyright E, while she was waiting to order a drink at the South Kensington Club in Chelsea. William and Kate Force for Good in Scotland trademark amid and IF2 pressure, reveal Sophie and Edward respected trademark amid noise trademark of Cambridge Sussex Rift, spotlight which royal is the keenest gardener. The 3 royals with green thumbs, insight, explaining what happened next, James wrote in an article for the Daily Telegraph, "Rather embarrassed, I went over to apologize and bring Ella back. But Ollie's copyrighty thought I was the waiter and ordered her drink while continuing to stroke Ella, who at this point was on her back lapping up the attention. Little did I know, but I had just met my future wife, all thanks to Ella." Smith will appear on screens tonight as part of a Strictly edition of Pointless Celebrities at 6:15 on BBC One. The show, presented by Richard Osman and Alexander Armstrong, asks the stars to come up with the least common correct answers to a series of questions also posed to the public. The ex-Labour Home Secretary, who appeared on Series 18 of Strictly Come Dancing, will feature alongside Reverend Richard Coles, Anton Dubek, Lubba Mushtaq, Annika Rice, Sunestra Sarkar, Lauren Steadman, and Emma Weymouth. In her previous 2020 appearance on Pointless Celebrities, Ms. Smith and teammate Ian Dale made it to the final two, yet failed to get the pointless answer needed to claim the show TMS jackpot. The ex-politician still went home with $500 which she donated to the Joe Cox Foundation. Ms. Smith became the first female Home Secretary during Gordon Brown TMS stint as Prime Minister, after she was Chief Whip for Tony Blair TMS New Labour. She claimed that while she was in office, she heard Prince Andrew making inappropriate jokes and racist remarks at a royal event that left MPs slack-jawed. Ms. Smith claimed on Mr. Dale TMS LBC election podcast in 2019, "I met him several times including once at a state banquet where after dinner my husband, and I and another Labour cabinet minister had a drink with him. I have to say the conversation left us slack-jawed with the things he felt appropriate to say. I almost feel like I can TMT say it. It was the state banquet for the Saudi royal family, and he made racist comments about Arabs that were unbelievable. That he thought we might find these amusing was a terrible situation to be in." It is thought that the dinner Ms. Smith was referring to was during the Saudi royal family TMS UK visit in 2007, while she was a member of Mr. Brown TMS cabinet. The former Labour politician said she felt ashamed that she didn't EMT challenge the alleged comments. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson strongly denied that Prince Andrew made racist comments and said in a 2019 statement that Andrew did not tolerate racism of any kind. It said, "HRH has undertaken a considerable amount of work in the Middle East over a period of years and has many friends from the region. He does not tolerate racism in any form." However, political commentator Mr. Dale told Good Morning Britain after the podcast episode aired, that a number of people had come forward with claims of alleged comments made by the Queen TMS son. Ms. Smith, who was a guest on the ITV morning programme alongside Mr. Dale, also said she had heard other people claim the royal had made similarly inappropriate remarks. She said, "The interesting thing about what I said on the podcast was, subsequently, quite a lot of people who I knew from the government or other places also said, oh yeah, he said something a bit similar to me as well." Trademark I don't TMT think, "Unfortunately, what I experienced was an isolated event. I just thought it said something about the way he thinks about the world and the people that he is supposed to be, or was at that point, supposed to be representing." He has been dealing with a sexual assault lawsuit from Virginia Roberts Giuffre, which reared its head again this week. However, the Duke of York has vehemently denied the allegation, with the palace previously saying they are false and without foundation. Andrew's spokeswoman said last month they had no comment on the civil case. Watch Pointless Celebrities at 6:15 on BBC One. Marking a year of her royal patronage to the well-being of women's chair, the Countess of Wessex, 56, explained she has been struggling with one unexpected side effect. Recounting her own experience with menopause, Sophie admitted she had been dealing with memory loss. "You suddenly can't remember what on earth it was you were talking about," the royal told Professor Dame Leslie Regan during a virtual call. "Try being on an engagement when that happens. Your words just go. And you're standing there going, hang on, I thought I was a reasonably intelligent person. What has just happened to me?" She told Professor Regan that her memory loss feels like someone has just gone and taken your brain out for however long before they pop it back in again, and you try and pick up the pieces and carry on. The royal spoke frankly about her experience. "Really, we should be celebrating the fact that we don't have to have periods anymore," she said. "It should be a liberation, but it feels like it's a shackle. Because it's been described as something that's incredibly negative. And, yes, it's an admittance of the fact that we're getting a bit older, we're not as young as we were before. We're not being, to use the word, productive. We're past that stage, which is quite a moment, isn't it?" The royal said teaching women and girls in school about menopause is essential to reducing the stigma surrounding the natural end of women's menstrual cycles.